Would you rather buy a property that is a fixer-upper or a move-in ready? Which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? Which one is ideal? So we're going to break down into what are the benefits of buying a property that is a fixer-upper, what are the disadvantages, and what are the benefits on the other hand in terms of buying a property that is move-in ready. So welcome guys for joining me this evening on a Friday evening where you could be at the groove, but you decided to join us. So thank you for those that are joining on our YouTube channel, our Facebook this side, and our Instagram this side. So thank you guys for joining. So the question of the day, which is a very, very hot topic, is: would you rather buy a property that's a fixer-upper, or would you that you will have to put a personal touch on it, a touch, like design it in your own way, fix it in your own way, the way you prefer? Or would you rather buy a property that is already just moved in, that is perfect from day one? So what would you say you prefer, right? Like I said, you can put your questions or your comments on the comment section, right? So that we can have a discussion in terms of what are your preferences, right? So I'll just welcome you again. So, but the first thing to just really maybe define is what is actually a fixer-upper property, right? And what is actually a move-in ready property, right? So that's the first thing to understand, but I think already they define themselves in terms of what is a fixer-upper property and what is a move. I will take the time to explain. So a fixer-upper property is actually a property that is not so in a good condition. It's a property that is pre-owned. Maybe somebody have stayed in that property for a long time, many years, and it might need, before you move into that property, it might need a bit of maintenance. You might need to renovate some stuff. You might need to redo the plumbing, repainting the walls, fixing the tiles. You know, it might have a lot of cracks, or that is a fixer-upper property. But in terms of a move-in property, it's self-explanatory. It's a property that you can just pack your stuff inside and then you move on the first day without any need to do anything on the property, right? So but what are the advantages of buying a property that is a fixer-upper, right? Okay, so I will start. So the first one is lower price, right? So because of the condition of the property, which is a fixer-upper, you will in most cases find it at a very affordable price. And even if it's priced at an affordable price, there's an opportunity to even negotiate further, right? So if I'm just giving an example, if you find a property that is in a bad condition, let's say it's priced at 700,000, you can still use the fact that it is in a bad condition to say that you can actually negotiate on the price, right? So which is a good thing, because you are buying a property with equity in that regard. So it's a very, very, very good benefit, right? And the second benefit or the advantage of actually buying a fixer-upper property is customization, right? So you have the opportunity to put your own personal touch on that property. So you can design it in a way that you will want it to be, right? Because you are finding it in a very terrible condition, right? So you can actually design it in a way that suits you and it suits your needs. So that's the second benefit, right? But for the sake of time, because I don't want to keep the live section for very long, I'm sure you guys want to enjoy the rest of your Friday, right? So the third benefit is to you have the opportunity to increase the value of that property. So it has a lot of potential in terms of the value. So if remember, you are buying it on a first advantage, I spoke about a lower purchase price and the opportunity to negotiate on the price, right? So now if you come in and you renovate the property, you do all the things that you can do, you actually have the possibility to increase the value of that property. And remember, you are already buying the property with equity, right? So I've actually done a lot of videos in terms of explaining what equity is. But if maybe you have not watched some of my videos, I will explain. So basically, equity is the percentage within that property of value that belongs to you, or money, right? Let's say you have you are buying the property. Let's say you are buying the property. You bought the property with the bank for 700,000, right? So let's say over a period of 5 years or something, you have paid back some amount on that property, right? Let's say you have paid up, for argument's sake, don't mind the maths, we just focus on the logic. Let's say you have paid 100,000 over the period of 5 years or something, right? And then also, because in most cases the property value will go up, right? So now that increases your equity. So that's what I mean by equity, and that's how you get equity. You also get equity by buying a property with equity, meaning that if a property value is 700,000, you buy it at 600,000. You just bought a property with equity. So that's what it means. And then the last advantage, if you have more, you can put them on the comment section, but for the sake of time, I'm going to keep it to 4. The last one is the learning experience, right? So it's the chance to learn the new skills to do things by yourself, to learn that building skill, or to manage a project, right? To do it on your own, right? If you do not have the funds to necessarily hire someone to do the job for you. So that's all about the advantages of buying a fixer-upper. So just to recap, we talked about lower purchase price, we talked about customization, we talked about the potential to increase the learning experience. So those are the benefits of buying a fixer-upper property, right? So on the other side, there's disadvantages of buying a fixer-upper property, right? So what are those? Also, I'll keep it to 4. So the first one is time consuming, right? So now you need to take the time to renovate the property, and that takes a bit of time. So it needs somebody that is not so much in a rush to move into that property, because by law, if you are buying a property, you cannot say you want to renovate before that property registers in your name. So you need to wait until the day it registers, and until when all the people that are staying in the property are out of the property, to actually now start working on that property. So that is time consuming, right? The second disadvantage is additional cost, right? So on top of the purchase price, you will have to pay more for the renovations, for the material to renovate, for the labor, if you are not doing it yourself, right? And also another thing is, even though the owner might disclose what is wrong with the property, right, there can be unexpected cost, because the owner sometimes doesn't know. Maybe there's a plumbing issue that they don't know about, right? It's inside the walls, right? So that can be unexpected cost that you need to prepare for in order to get that property into a condition that is acceptable. So that's another disadvantage, right? The next disadvantage is stress, right? if you don't have the experience to manage a renovation or to the skills to actually do the renovations yourself, it's going to be stressful because you are not experienced in doing that. But if you have the experience, then you're good to go. But it's pretty much stressful. Like I said on the previous point, there's a lot of unexpected things that can happen. Maybe when you look at the prices of stuff, the prices was 2 rand, now it's 3 rand of the material. Or maybe there's some things in the condition of the property that is just going wrong. So there's a lot of twists and turns that can go wrong if you don't have the skills and the experience to deal with a fixer-upper, right? But we'll break it down into what is best between these two, right? So for now, we are still focusing on the advantages and the disadvantages. So the last disadvantages is the financing challenges, right? So if you are buying a property that is fixer-up, right? And you are buying it, let's say you are not buying it cash, you are buying it through the bank, right? So because of that, right, the bank actually, for each property that they finance, they send an evaluator to come and check the property condition to say, is the property condition in a state that it's worth it, that they should invest in it? Because remember, they are putting their money on that property. So they don't want to put their money into a property that, is going to collapse or something like that. So you can have issues with obtaining finance because the bank can say, no, the property is not worth it to actually invest in their money into, because they feel the condition is so bad, right? Or they might say that they're not going to finance it fully, they're going to finance it partially, all those kind of stuff. But like if you have the finance, or if the condition of the property is not that bad, also you can still proceed with a fixer-up, right? But in summary, there's a lot of twist and turn that you can experience while you're buying a fixer-upper property, right? But for people that enjoys to put their own personal touch, to do the things themselves, and they have the relevant experience, there's no reason why you shouldn't go for it, right? So we are finished now with the fixer-upper. Now we go to the next segment, which is move-in ready homes. What are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of buying a move-in ready home, right? So move-in ready is self-explanatory. It's the perfect house. It's in a perfect condition. You just pack your stuff and you move in the same day. You don't have to do nothing. It's hassle-free. You don't have to do any repairs. You don't have to do any updates. It's up to you to do them over time, or if you want to do them immediately, it's really up to you. It's your choice, right? So what is really the advantages and the disadvantages of actually buying a move-in ready properties, right? So the first advantage, of course, is immediate comfort, right? Which in most cases, in my experience as a real estate agent, I see most people like that immediate comfort, right? So it is ready to, you are ready to move in from day one. No need to do anything. So most people really go for that, right? And the other thing is convenience, right? There's no renovation required. You save time and you save the effort. It's very convenient. And the third advantage is that the costs are predictable, right? So there's no maintenance costs that just come out of nowhere, right? So you can actually plan your expenses. In most cases, you'll cover, if it's inside an estate, you will cover your levies, your rates and taxes, your water, your electricity, and your bond if you bought the property through the bank. So very, very predictable, right? And the fourth one is energy efficiency, because most properties that are move-in ready, it's mostly from developers, right? They are often updated with modern and efficient fixtures, right? So, in most cases that there's not much in terms of energy consumption. So that's the 4 advantages actually. Just recapping: immediate comfort, convenience, predictable cost, and energy efficiency. Remember, guys, on both sides, I'm covering 4, right? There's actually much more than this, which you can put on the comment section, right? Then also, if you have some questions, we can actually discuss them. So far I don't see any questions, but if you have any questions, you can just put them on the comment section, and then we can discuss them, right? So what are actually the disadvantages of actually buying a property that is move-in ready, right? So in most cases, it will be higher purchase price, right? In most cases, these properties are properties that are coming straight from the developers, right? In most cases, developers will say that the cost of transfer and bond registration is included in the price, right? Which inflate the prices, because how developers are different is that they are registered for VAT, right? That's why they don't charge the transfer costs and all that. And this ensures that they actually, because that cost is already included there, it inflates the prices. And then the struggle is that if something happens, right? Let's say there's a change in your life that you want to sell the property in a short term, right? It's very, very difficult to sell, right? So new development is better if you are buying it to stay a minimum of 5 to 7 years, then there's no issue. But if you want to sell in a short term, you can't sell it because the price is a bit higher, right? So when the price is a bit higher, it means when you sell it, you will sell it with a shortfall from the bank, right? You still have to pay additional amount, right, into the bank. And another thing is, you will, in terms of the bank, if you are selling within a year or 2 years, they actually put some early cancellation fee on that. So that is the disadvantage in terms of actually buying a move-in ready house, right? And then the next thing is limited customization. So you do not have the opportunity really to do to personalize the home designs and fixtures, because in most cases everything is new and all that, so it doesn't give you that much, right? Flexibility to customize that property, right? And the third disadvantage is market competition. So what you will notice is that for most people that are actually looking for properties, they look for these properties. So there's a lot of buyers that are looking for this. And also the other attraction is that all the cost, the transfer are already included there. So when they're already included, it attracts a lot of buyers, and then you find yourself into competing with a whole lot of people for that to actually get the property, right? Because most people are really looking for move-in ready houses, right? Because it saves them on the transfer costs and all those kind of stuff. And the fourth disadvantage is depreciation risk, right? So remember when we talked about a fixer-upper, there's huge potential to increase the value of that property. But with regards to a move-in ready house, you cannot really. There's a very, very less potential to increase the value of that property through renovations, right? If you need to increase the value of that property, you need to study the market and see what's happening. One thing I can think of is maybe you've bought a 2-bedroom house, right? Move in ready, new, right? And then when you compare in that area that you bought the property in, maybe there's mostly 3-bedroom houses, right? So the chances to increase the value is you need to extend that house to be a 3-bedroom house in order to increase the value. So that is the only really potential that you have. Other than that, there's really no chance you'll be able to increase the value of that property, right? So for sure, a move-in ready offers peace of mind. It offers convenience. It allows you to focus on settling in and enjoying your new space without worrying about construction work or any additional expenses, which is really important, right? So the big question is, what is the best option, right? What is the best option? I want to give you guys a moment to really, before I continue here, to just tell me what is the best option for you. What do you think is the best option? What do you think is the best option? So, ultimately, really, what determines whether fixer upper is the best option or a move-in ready property is the best option is really depends on your personal preferences, right? It depends on your budget and it depends on your lifestyle. But I want to give you guidelines to say, how do you actually decide what is actually better for you? But the bottom line is it depends from person to person, right? So it is not so Ntokozo says fixer upper for renting out and moving ready for staying in. Yeah, I agree with that. And then Damu says, according to information given, best option is what the buyer's looking for when buying. Exactly. It really depends on personal preferences and your current financial situation, right? But I want to give you guidelines to for you to decide what actually is the best option, right? So these guidelines are the first one is budget. So you need to ask yourself a few questions, right? Do you have the budget for potential renovation cost, or would you prefer to pay more upfront for moving ready cost? So that's the first thing. Do you have the budget to renovate that property, right? So if already you are one person that do not have the transfer cost already, that's already a given that you will not be able to afford the renovation. So for sure, your options should be going for a new development house, right? Because you have not saved enough money, or you don't have somebody that can give you the money. So you need to now go for a move-in ready property, which is most likely a new development house, right? So this is the question that you need to ask yourself. Do you have the budget for the renovation cost, right? And even if you have the budget, right, do you have a buffer on top of that budget? Just to say, for anything that is unexpected, I can cover with this, right? That is very much important, right? Then the second question to ask yourself is in a matter of time, right? Do you have the time and the patience to oversee a renovation project? Do you have the time? As I explained in the beginning, right? You are only allowed to do a renovation when only the property registers in your name, right? If you bought the property, the process takes around 3 months. Ne? When the process takes around 3 months, will you still have more time to stay in a different property? Or maybe even if you are staying in the same property, but do you still have the time and the patience, not just the time only, but also the patience, right? The patience to oversee a renovation project, right? So the third question to ask yourself is in a matter of skills. Are you comfortable to do DIY projects, or would you need to hire a professional to do it? But if you're talking about hiring a professional, it goes back to point number 1 in terms of budgets. Do you have the budget to actually pay this person that you're going to hire if you don't have the skills? Right? So these are tough questions that you need to ask yourself. Right? The fourth question you need to ask yourself is in terms of vision. Do you have a clear vision of what you want your home to be? Or do you prefer something that's already perfectly designed? Right? Like if you don't have the vision, if you can't envision how that property will be, just on the first time when you move into that property, then there's no way you will have the capacity to actually now do this through Flipper app. So it means you need to get something move-in ready, right? So it's very much important to understand your personality, right, before deciding, because it all depends on that. So just to recap, right, the guidelines that you need to ask yourself is in terms of budget, it is in terms of timing, it is in terms of skills, and in terms of vision. So once you answer those 4 questions, again, I stick to 4. There's probably more questions you can ask yourself, but for the sake of time, I decided to keep it at 4 on all points, right? So just recapping, right, in what we have been discussing, but I think by now you should be able to be in a position to decide whether you are a fixer upper person or whether you are a move-in ready. We said in terms of the advantages of a fixer upper is low price, customization, value increase, learning experience. And then in terms of disadvantages, time consuming, additional cost, stress, and financial challenges, right? And then when we got into the move-in ready, we spoke about the advantages, which is immediate comfort, convenience, predictable cost, and energy efficiency. And then when we came to the disadvantages of a move-in ready properties, we spoke about the higher purchase price, the limited customization, the market competition, and the depreciation risk, right? So what I need you to understand is that both options have their unique advantages and they have their unique challenges, right? So a fixer-upper offers customization and a potential for value increase, while a move-in ready property provides convenience and peace of mind. So think about what aligns with your needs and with your lifestyle. But whatever you decide, make sure that it feels right for you, right? But I want to take the time to really appreciate you guys for joining us today. I am sure that this information will help you somehow in your life. The fact of the matter is everybody needs a home, right? And I'm sure wherever you are right now, you are under a roof. So it means everybody needs a home. Whether you are currently renting right now or you are a homeowner. At some point, you're gonna have to decide to have a home of yourself, or even if you are currently owning a property, there might be a reason for you to relocate from that property, right? Can be a new job, financial pressure, can be divorce, uh, can be that you have now outgrown that property and you just want to upgrade into a bigger property. It can be that uh, um, you want to downgrade. Now you're at a life stage that you cannot maintain the property you are staying in. Can be a whole lot of reasons, but at one point in your life you will be faced with a decision of what type of a property you need to buy. So thank you guys for your support and for joining. I hope this information have added some value in your life and is gonna help you going forward. But don't forget to if you are on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to continue to like the videos, to comment, and then if you are on Facebook, just like the videos, share with other people as well, so that they can also have this knowledge, right, that you just gained, of which I'm very, very much sure is going to be helpful in your life. Like always, I am the big elephant, Ndokuria Manenzhe. Chase, I am out. I'll see you next week.